God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
So Stable Recovery is a sober living facility. Alcoholics and addicts that are in there are provided with a lot of structure, and they go to Stable Recovery, and then they're offered the opportunity to come work at the School of Horsemanship at TaylorMade.
Really, it's kind of like a family. We eat together, sleep together, pray together, work together. And it's got a purpose, a direction, and you're surrounded with like peers. You know, people that are behind you in their addiction recovery, people that are ahead of you, and we all know we're in this boat together.
I was a heavy drinker, and I finally quit 2 years ago. He kept working on me, and finally gave me enough pain to where I started doing the right things. And so we started Stable Recovery just a few months ago. And I hired a guy named Christian Counselor. And Christian has been a very key component to making this work.
A job can be a very dangerous thing for a drug addict. And knowing that we put faith first, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, it's just everything. It's changed everything. I'm a drug addict and alcoholic in recovery. I spent 20 years of my life suffering from the disease of addiction. I'm a combat veteran. I spent 2 tours with the United States Army, one in Iraq, one in Afghanistan. When I got home, I really struggled with some of the things that took place, and I used drugs and alcohol to treat that for many, many years, and it was fun for a while until it wasn't. I ended up homeless on the streets of Lexington for about 3 years. I had lost everything. I lost my wife, my kids, my job, myself, my faith, everything. And about 5 years ago, I overdosed and woke up in the hospital and made a decision. I was either going to get sober or I was going to die. And I was really okay with either one. I was so tired of living the way I was living. So I made a decision to get sober, and I work every single day to this day to maintain that sobriety, and now to help others find recovery.
Between the School of Horsemanship and Stable Recovery, these guys are in an environment 24/7 of being around people that are also sober, that are trying to achieve the same goal they are, of being sober and becoming good citizens.
I do it because I'm one of those guys. That's me, that guy that's 3 days sober that shows up at my doorstep with a backpack full of dirty clothes and 7 cents in his pocket, and nobody wants anything to do with him anymore. That was me just a short amount of years ago. I had completely lost my faith. I had turned my back on God. God never turned his back on me, but I turned my back on God. And it's only through the experiences that I've had that I can share with other men about what God has done for me. And that gets them to stay one more day. And if they stay one more day, well, then they get a chance at tomorrow. And if we can get them through tomorrow, then and before you know it, we have men that are walking towards God again. And that's my mission every single day, is to help guys understand that God's got his hand out. It's there. You have to look for it, and then you have to reach out to find it. And when you do, that connection, with that, you can defeat drugs, you can defeat alcohol, you can defeat homelessness, you can defeat the loss of family, you can defeat anything with that. There is no teammate like God, and so we do a lot of, I'm a military guy, so it's a lot of unit and a lot of teamwork and a lot of stuff like that. And look, man, when we have God on our side, there's not much that can get in our way.
Okay, so here's where you're determined, but you're losing contact with God each time. Right?
Yeah.
That's what's happened. And we fall back down again,
Yes, sir.
So learning to build that relationship with God is the only thing that's going to help keep you sober when all else fails. and all else will fail. Women will fail, money will fail, jobs will, all that stuff. You have no control over any of that stuff whatsoever. The only thing you have control over is how you build this relationship with something bigger than you.
The beauty of it is you have full support and you're fully immersed, and there's such a bond that forms between these guys. And I tell you, the proof is in the pudding. Every morning at 6:15 at the barn, we have 20 to 25 guys show up every morning, and we have a meditation for an hour.
All of you guys that have been here for a little while now, we're doing this thing. We're doing this thing. You woke up sober today. Give this thing everything you've got and see what happens.
When you sit there and see the people that are just a few days sober to the guys that are up to 6 months or a year, you can just see the change, the way they look, the way they think, the way they talk. And it's just, it's a great program. It lets them grow spiritually.
At the beginning, it wasn't very easy. I screwed it up. I screwed it up multiple times, but I can honestly say through optimism that I didn't give up on it. You know, I kept sticking it out. I passed the program here at TaylorMade, and I'm very grateful for all the people that I know in this circle that helped me get that done.
Probably 80% of that crew has now become all in sobriety and come through that program. And they're just like a unit that is so tight and so effective. And it's really making this farm a lot better.
I'll never do anything other than this as far as the 24 hours, knowing that you are never alone, because it takes a split second for a man to make a bad decision. And with that split second and that one bad decision, he can lose everything again. And many of the guys that we get have lost everything again and again and again. Here's what I gained from my sobriety. I gained a relationship with God, you know, and that's what I got out of it. I didn't get sober. I didn't get a job. I gained a relationship with God, and with that, man, my life has completely changed because of it. And man, I look forward to these talks, to these prayers, to this relationship. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me. That's what I'm truly grateful for. I hit my knees every single morning and thank God for allowing me to breathe today. And then I hit them every single night and thank Him for giving me the opportunity to help other people and for keeping me sober. I do often sometimes question, why me? How have I been blessed like this? Because I did a lot of really bad things. And there are times when I don't even understand why I've been granted this grace. And so because of that, I work every single day to show that I'm not going to take that for granted. And I'm going to help as many people as I possibly can find God and find sobriety.